nursing program?
Where's she going?
Longwood.
Oh,
She got in
good.
last week. Yep, it's
Good.
awesome.
That's where I went.
Some good scholarship, maybe?
We don't know yet, so there's, I don't know.
No.
So far, we don't know
You don't
anything
know what
about,
you don't know.
all I know is they wanted their deposit, which I,
Of course, before they told you what she was
what
gonna
it's
get.
gonna cost, yes.
Oh, she'll love it.
Well, you could use that to negotiate.
Yes, that's a good point.
Did she apply to place else?
No.
Well, she still has time.
She doesn't now, well, we signed a binding agreement. So she applied early action binding and put all of her eggs in one.
I did that too.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Please rise while we pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's one nation under God. All right. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to public announcements. Public announcements. Vacation on December 24th to the 26th and December 31st to January 2nd, the school board office will be closed. December 26th until January 5th, schools will be closed for winter break. On January 5th, when we come back, is Staff Professional Day. And on January 12th, the school board annual meeting will be held here once again at St. Clair Walker. So next on the agenda are recognitions. Dr. Seitz?
Yes, recognitions. We did have two. I've moved one to next month, but I did want to recognize Mrs. McMurtry as this is her final school board meeting. I think I saw her cheer down there, but I know she's going to be very sad.
She'll probably come to all of our meetings.
She probably will, but in all seriousness, I want to thank you for the support that you've given the division, me, our staff, our students for the past 4 years.
You're very welcome.
You've certainly been an asset, and we will miss having you here at the table.
Let's give her a round
It's been
of
fun.
applause. Thank you, Jenny.
Kim will have to find somebody else to take care of.
And next, since we have no public, I assume there is no public comment. Kim? That's right.
No public
Okay.
comment.
And board member comments. Tiffany?
None at this time.
I have none at this time. None?
None?
I had a meeting, but there was really no.
We do have some comments from our student board member.
We do. Caitlin, I did, when she reached out to me, I said, please do not try not to attend this evening, being a student driver. And so she sent me the notes that she had prepared for this evening. So I will read her, the student representative report. And so for the elementary school, fourth graders have finished the novel Blood on the River by Elsa Carbone, and they will be having a Zoom session with the author so that students can answer questions, hear about her writing process, research, and all about the book itself. K-Kids held a canned food drive in support of the Crier Center, and they're also collecting travel hygiene products to put together hygiene kits for students that may be in need of them. At St. Clair Walker, the SCA put together gratitude jars for teacher teams to show how thankful students are for their hard work. And in December, they will be planning a Winter Spirit Week to encourage holiday cheerleading up to the winter break. The STEM Club members recently created the age group medals for this past weekend's YMCA Jingle Bell 5K. They also volunteered at the race, they cheered on racers, they answered questions about their design process, and they helped to pass out those awards. 6th grade science students participated in an elephant toothpaste lab and burned magnesium to help in their learning of chemical reactions in their chemistry unit. At Middlesex High School, Tri-M hosted their first ever induction ceremony for the MHS chapter, and that's related to choir and band students. In sports, the students have had the opportunity to attend the fall sports banquet last week. That's where they earned their letters, pins, and coaches awards, in addition to being recognized for academic honors if they were on a sports team. The MHS volleyball team played in the state championship game in Salem, which was the first time since 1989 that we have had a volleyball team participating at that level. So it was very exciting. I watched it comfortably from my home. Winter sports, including girls and boys basketball, wrestling, cheerleading, and scholastic ball, have officially kicked off for the 25-26 sports season. The National Honor Society students are participating in Finn's Challenge through the American Heart Association to raise money for heart health education and treatment. And the Spanish Honor Society members will be traveling for a holiday cookie party with our English as a second language students at Middlesex Elementary. And that concludes Caitlin's student report for this evening's meeting.
Great report. Do you think we could honor the volleyball team at a future meeting sometime?
We could certainly do that if you all would like to do that.
Sounds like a good idea. At least to me. All right, so then we move on to action items. Policy revision, this is the first reading.
Yes, and I just have one policy review. It is policy LBD, home instruction. And so the VSBA contacted divisions with a slight update to the policy, and the intent was to make it more clear and to ensure that it included students who are receiving a religious exemption. And this actually is the third time they have updated this policy this year at VSBA. But they get feedback from the homeschool community and wanted to make sure that it was clear. So I bring you that for first read.
What, about how many students are homeschooled at Middlesex, do you say?
I want to say 65-ish.
That's quite a few.
95? Well, I was wrong on that. There were 95.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's a bump from last year.
A bump.
Because I checked with Byron in regards to.
So I believe that we need a
Yeah.
motion to approve this on first reading. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? It carries. Okay, so next we go to superintendent's report.
Well, before that, we have information item.
Oh, we do, but I didn't see Dr. Bishop.
Well, I have his report also.
Oh, good, all right.
I'm happy to share that.
She's everyone tonight.
I'm everyone tonight. I'm wearing just a few hats tonight. So Dr. Bishop's report ties to one of our priorities for the 25-26 school year, and that was to provide teachers with timely and specific feedback to improve instruction. And so at this time, our school administrators have conducted 191 walkthrough observations. These walkthroughs they're short, they're unannounced, and there's criteria that they're using to assess the learning environment, such as student engagement, alignment of resources, teacher movement, maximize class time, student-teacher relationship. Those are some of the things, as well as teacher and student activities. The administrators provide feedback to the teachers in writing and then during individual discussions when that's required. Analysis of the observations have found strengths that include positive learning environments, effective use of scaffolding, which is providing individual supports to students, providing timely feedback to students, and using high-quality instructional materials. Growth opportunities include continuing to maximize class time, encouraging students to deepen their thinking in class discussions by using higher-level questions, and greater use of visual representations and graphic organizers. On top of those walkthroughs, administrators have conducted 71 formative observations, so that is a longer time spent in the classroom, which gives teachers even more specific feedback. And so our administrators are supporting our teachers through effective and timely feedback. Dr. Bishop's able to collect that data from all of the feedback, and then we put it together, and we just gave an overview of strengths and opportunities for growth there, and that's what we work on our principals with to have a more specific focus when they're working with their teachers. So that's the instructional
Thank
report.
you. Any questions? I have one question. Do we get any feedback from the teachers whose classrooms are visited? What's their attitude towards this?
So it was a little bit, it was not different because administrators are in classrooms. We've just bumped that up to be a lot more frequent. And so the feedback we've gotten thus far is that they appreciate that visibility and the feedback that's helping them to steer their instruction if we see some areas that need some more supports. The other things that it allows our administrators to recognize is to identify, are there other supports that we need to be providing within the classroom and to teachers?
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bishop and Dr. Seitz. So then we move on to the superintendent's report.
Yes, have a few items that I can share with you this evening. For the school performance and support framework, we are expecting a public release at some point in time this week is what VDOE has shared, and I will be reporting on that at the January meeting. So I will move on to budget and let you know where we are. Dr. Bishop, Ms. Murray, and I are meeting with all of our principals and directors to review the budget needs for 25-26. They've turned in those documents a little bit ago. And so the next piece is to wait for the governor's release, which will happen right before we get out for the break. Some good news is that we're seeing a slight decrease in the LCI. Currently, we're at a 0.6389, and it's going down to a 0.6207. So we'll take any downward movement we can of that, because that means that we receive a little bit more from the state. The other information I have is what I've received from attending some of the conferences. It is a long session this year, it being the General Assembly. That starts January 14th and will go through March 14th. We do have a Democratic majority in the House and Senate, in addition to a Democratic governor, all of which will take office in January. And so that can influence some of the bills that get passed or maybe not passed. There were a number that made it through the General Assembly last year that were vetoed by the current governor, so we could expect if they make it through it again, we could, that they could be voted through. And so all in all, the overview was that we could have some things that benefit us, we could have some things that come through that are more costly to us, and we could have some things that pass all the way through in bills that would benefit us, but they could fail when they get under cost at that level. And so it is a wait and see until we get into probably March. I have heard that the 1% or the 1 cent sales tax for school construction will likely pass to the General Assembly, which means localities could take that on their own as a referendum. Your locality still has to vote for it, but it does look like it will pass this year, and Middlesex County could decide on that, which could benefit us definitely. It's possible we see some changes to the accountability and accreditation models, cut scores, history standards, and those things. We are expecting possibly that by July 1, there could be a change in the majority of the members of the Board of Education. And then lastly, related to federal funding, best case scenario is that we would receive level funding. Worst case scenario is that we could potentially get cuts. But I can say that so far, we continue to receive all of the funding that has been identified for Virginia and then passed on to school divisions. So we've not had any negative impacts from anything federally. And then last thing, we have started to work on the 26-27 school calendar, which I will bring the first draft of that in January, and we will also be sending that out for staff and family feedback. And then one last thing, I meant to do this in recognitions actually, but I wanted to again recognize that and say that our audit came back absolutely perfect with no findings. And so a huge shout out to Mrs. Karen Murray on that. because it is her oversight and just daily work that she takes on to make sure that everything runs so smoothly in that department. And I think it's just a testament to her meticulous financial oversight, her strong internal controls, and then unwavering commitment to transparency. And so we thank Mrs. Murray. In addition, you know, there's always support. So within our central office, we have Donna Sickle and Jessica Tuning, who work under Karen, and then our principals and directors who manage what goes on in their schools. But Karen wears the hat to oversee all of that, and I just want to publicly recognize and thank her for that.
Dr. Zates,
Congratulations.
is this year 4 for that?
I think it probably is.
It's either
yeah.
3 or 4, so.
And make sure that the applause is reflected in the minutes, please. I do have a question, but does anyone else have a question about the budget?
Yes.
We're having a budget meeting on the 16th, I think, of January?
I think it's the 26th.
26th?
Yes, we can pull it
It's
down.
something with a 6 in it, but what is the agenda for that meeting?
So at that point, and let me make sure I'm all in May of 2027. So at that meeting, Karen and I will have a good sketch of certainly the governor's budget and what our current staffing positions are, what if, when we look at utilities and increases like that. I think the goal in that meeting would be to make sure the school board has identified specific priorities if they need to be a part of the budget, whether it's teacher salaries or any other things. We'll talk about the CIP also, and so those items will be in there. Included in that, of course, is the high school renovation, but it'll give you all some more time to talk about exactly what those specific priorities are. I would say if it's numbers that need to be crunched, if you've got some ideas, if we can have some of those things ahead of time that Karen can work through. Like, for example, if you're talking about a certain percent raise compared to a different percent raise and things like that, we could have some specific information on what the impact of budget would be.
Well, I think that by then we will not know what the General Assembly is going to do as far as, if anything, for teacher salaries. And I think we should keep in mind that they don't normally do something for teacher salaries. That's been extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the salaries of our teachers ought to be at least better than the rest of our colleagues east of I-95, as you so aptly put it last year.
Right, especially our starting salaries.
And so, and I'd like them to be much higher than those, but we can't be dragging the bottom any longer and expect to continue to recruit and retain the teachers that we want to teach our students. So that's for me, that's number one, and I hope that on the 26th, my colleagues on the board will agree with me that that has to be the top priority or a top priority. I'd also like to know what resources we might need in order to achieve at least an acceptable status in the framework. We can't not be at least, what's that term that they use? Meeting expectations or
Approaching,
approaching.
something like that.
Well, the categories are distinguished, on track, off track, and needs
Okay, on
intensive
track.
support.
Yeah, on
We need to be
track,
at
yeah.
least on track. And I'd like to be distinguished at least one or two areas. So what would it take to support that kind of an aspiration? So that's just for me. And we'll talk more about it on the 26th. Thank you, Dr. Seitz. And then we move on to old business. Any old business to attend to? Any new business? I dare you to put any new business on the agenda. And now we're going to go to our closed meeting. Do we need to go into a closed meeting?
Yes, we have personnel.
Okay. I need something.
Making sure Kim had it with her, yep.
Pursuant to the Code of Virginia, the board will go into closed session to discuss personnel matters, student matters, and legal matters. May I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. We will now in closed session. I guess we need to move.
That's open.
chair will entertain a motion to go out of closed session.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded pursuant to the Code of Virginia. The board discussed personnel matters, student matters, and legal matters during closed session. Matters discussed in closed session have been added to the consent agenda, which we will approve subsequently, and other parts of the agenda as action and information items. Members of the board, please certify that only lawful matters were discussed in closed session. Board members will respond by roll call vote.
Dr. Burnett,
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. McMurtry,
Yes.
and Ms. Robbins.
Yes.
So we are now in open session. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Safe travels, everybody.
Safe travels.
All right, last time picking up the books.
Right.